ilẹ̀ wa ilẹ̀ òmìnira kò síbikíbi tí a lè wà lórílẹ̀ ayé tí a lè gbàgbé Yorùbá nation. Jọ̀wọ́ o Olúwa mú wa dé ibẹ̀ tọmọtọmọ tọkọtọkọ tayátayá wa kí gbogbo ayé lè mọ̀ wípé ilẹ̀ tiwa ni àwa yóò dé Yorùbá nation. Jọ̀wọ́ o Olúwa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti gba ara wa nínú ìnira kò sọ́gbọ̀n kọ́gbọ̀n tí Nàìjíríà fi lè tàn wá jẹ. Àwa yóò dé Yorùbá nation. Ilẹ̀ wa Yorùbá nation. Ó dára ó lẹ́wà ilẹ̀ òmìnira kò síbikíbi tí a lè wà lórílẹ̀ ayé tí a lè gbàgbé Yorùbá nation. Jọ̀wọ́ o Olúwa mú wa dé ibẹ̀ tọmọtọmọ tọkọtọkọ tayátayá wa kí gbogbo ayé lè mọ̀ wípé ilẹ̀ tiwa ni àwa yóò dé Yorùbá nation. Jọ̀wọ́ o Olúwa ràn wá ní ọwọ́ láti gba ara wa nínú ìnira kò sọ́gbọ̀n kọ́gbọ̀n tí Nàìjíríà fi lè tàn wá jẹ. Àwa yóò dé Yorùbá nation. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ilẹ̀ òmìnira èmi kò jẹ́ gbàgbé rẹ̀. Èmi yóò máa sọ nípa ògo rẹ̀ mo fojú sọ́nà sí ilẹ̀ mi. Oh my land Yorùbá nation I will always cherish you. I will always fight for your glory. I look forward to you my land Yorùbá nation now. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ilẹ̀ òmìnira èmi kò jẹ́ ìgbàgbé rẹ̀. Èmi yóò máa sọ nípa ògo rẹ̀ mo fojú sọ́nà sí ilẹ̀ mi. Oh my land Yorùbá nation I will always cherish you. I will always fight for your glory. I look forward to you, my land.
Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jùmọ̀ kọ orin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwa ni ògo adúláwọ̀.
sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Àwa ni, ẹ̀yin ni, ògo adúláwọ̀. Bọ̀ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ọmọ Odùduwà, ṣèlérí láti ṣe dáadáa, kókó rẹ kó búyọ. Báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí ohun tá a gbé dání? Àjọṣe kó lè dá àfòtítọ́ inú ṣe. Ẹ má jà tanra wa jẹ ní ìgbà gbogbo sẹ́, nítorí òtítọ́ dára, òtítọ́ ló ń lékè rọ. Mo bẹ̀ yín ọmọ Odùduwà, kẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́. Ẹ má tanra yín jẹ, ẹ ṣòtítọ́ nídìí ẹ̀, kí ilé ayé yín bá lè dá. Nítorí òtítọ́ dára, ẹ jẹ́ ká yá olóòótọ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká tanra wa jẹ àti àwọn ènìyàn wa. Ó dàbí orin George Benson kan ni. Ó ní say it loud, say it loud, say it clear, jọ̀wọ́ say it clear. Ká jọ ṣe èyí tó tọ́, kínú Ọlọ́run lè dùn. Every generation blame the one before. Ṣùgbọ́n ìtawà gangan ṣe lónìí, ṣé tó bá dọ̀la àwọn ọmọ wa ò ní blame àwa náà. Nítorí ẹ̀fẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá, ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ ẹ̀tàn jẹ́ pọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fọ́mọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká fọ́mọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká fọ́mọ́ kó títọ́ lékè. Ẹ kú alẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa káàkiri orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáláyé. Mo kí yín káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti àṣálẹ́ yìí. Bàbá Ajala ló máa ṣe èyí tó pọ̀ jù nínú rẹ̀, nítorí pé tí ó bá jẹ́ pé ó pọn kàráǹgídá ni, kò yẹ kí jáde lálẹ́. Ṣùgbọ́n ní gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá ti yá Ṣàngó, tó bá ti yá Egúngún, ó ti yá ọ̀rẹ́ pẹ̀lú. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ mi, pàápàá jùlọ ẹ̀yin tí ẹ fi òtítọ́ inú darapọ̀ mọ́ mi, tí ẹ ti tẹ nǹkan kan tí ojú òpó lọ́nà kan tàbí èkejì. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá fẹ́ràn wa, ẹ bá wa share. 2/3 of Nigeria, 2/3 of 19 states. Ìtànjẹ yẹn ti pọ̀ tipẹ́tipẹ́. Bóyá Nàìjíríà ló jẹ́ kórí àwọn ẹlòmíì dàrú torí wọ́n gbálẹ̀, tó yẹ pé ìtànjẹ yẹn náà fẹ́ máa gbé lọ. Inú ó sì ń di ìtànjẹ o. Gbogbo wàhálà tèmi ní kékeré yìí lágbára Ọlọ́run kò ní já sásán. Ó dẹ̀ dá mi lójú pé gbogbo ìgbòkègbodò ẹ̀yin náà pàápàá lórí nǹkan tá à ń ṣe yìí kò ní lọ lọ́wọ́ òfò. Mo kí Odùwà ti dé, Treasury Road, Fẹ́mi Tai, Adẹ́rẹ̀mí Ọládìpọ̀, Terry Ọmọládé, Abiodun Williams, Treasury Road, Mikimiki Baba Mọ̀dínà, Mikiki Baba Mọ̀dínà, okay náà, Adékòkè Adégbàjú, Odùwà ti dé, mo kí Williams Aládé, Williams di méjì, Williams ọ̀rẹ́ mi di méjì, kan wà bí kan wà yá. Bíọ́lá Àgbájí, mo kí ẹ̀yin náà pé ṣé dáadáa lẹ́wà. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè á di gbogbo wa mú. Oyètọ́pẹ́ Adésànyà, ìyá mi, mo kí yín ṣé dáadáa lẹ́wà. Gbogbo ilé ńkọ́. Peter Olúwafúnminíyì, àtẹ̀mí náà George, Rafiu Lawal Bọ́lárìnwá, Kọ́láwọlé Ibrahim. Ìmọ̀ bóyá kí n fóòmù orin fún Kọ́láwọlé Ibrahim yẹn. Bóyá tó bá dọ̀la, Kọ́láwọlé Ibrahim máa tún gborí wọlé, máa fóòmù orin fún wọn.
I will try as much as possible to turn up. It's very good for me to turn up, but between me and you, I've been at work all day today, and I only just come back. I had my dinner quickly, and I decided to jump out because Ajala said he's ready for me. And not only for me, he's ready for the Yoruba people. And àwọn kan dẹ̀ ń gbé mú pé bóyá òun àti Ajala ti jà ní. Táíwò Lámìnà ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Anúolúwa Adédoyin òkè náà Ọlọ́run yóò dúró tì wá. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ kíní kan fún yín. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí ẹ fi sí ọwọ́ sí yín. Mi ò fẹ́ kẹ́ fi jẹun. Ìtàn kékeré ni. Ní ìgbà kan rí arákùnrin kan wà. Ó sọ fún ìyá ẹ̀ àti bàbá ẹ̀ pé òun fẹ́ fẹ́ arábìnrin kan. Ó ní ó ti sọ fún ìyá àti bàbá ẹ̀ àti gbogbo àwọn aráalé ẹ̀ pé òun nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọbìnrin kan. Ó sì fẹ́ fẹ́. The night. Hey, bàbá yọjú, bàbá gbórí wọlé, bàbá mi Àjàlá, ọmọ ẹkùn, ọmọ wa. Kí n tó fi bàbá hàn. Arákùnrin kan ó sọ fún àwọn òbí ẹ̀ pé òun fẹ́ fẹ́ arábìnrin kan. Àti gbogbo àwọn tó yíká àti gbogbo ará àdúgbò pé ọmọbìnrin òun fẹ́ fi ṣe aya. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń wá ọ̀nà tí wọ́n wá fi bá arábìnrin sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà, nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ lábúlé wọn. Tó jẹ́ pé arákùnrin ló lè lọ gba arábìnrin là. Ó wá lóhùn ò ní lọ gba arábìnrin là. Wọ́n wá ní pákílótò ní lọ gbà á là. Ó ní òun ò lè lọ gbà á là. Báyìí gọ̀gẹ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tó láwọn ò fẹ́ búra. Bẹ́ẹ̀ gangan ló ṣe rí. Tí a bá ń ṣe nǹkan tọkàntọkàn àti pẹ̀lú òtítọ́ inú tí kò sí kọ́lọ́fín kankan níbẹ̀, ó dá mi lójú pé gbogbo èèyàn ló máa yọrí síta pé I can put my head up in every situation because I have no skeleton in my cupboard. Ọlábímpé number 1. Ọmọ ní ìfọ́n by Orlando Ọwọ́. Tí ènìyàn bá ń fẹ́ nǹkan kan lótìtọ́ àti lódodo, you can go to any length. If your heart seriously crave for that thing, you will go to any length to get there. The Boko Haram, they crave so much for 70 virgins when they get to heaven. They don't mind killing themselves for it. They crave so much for 70 virgins when they get to heaven. For that reason, they don't mind to die now so that they can get to heaven quickly. That's their commitment, what they believe in. If you believe in Yoruba nation, no matter what, for real, for truth, you will do anything under the sun to make sure it gets there. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi àpẹẹrẹ bàbá wa Olóyè Sunday Igboho. My boss, he craves so much for Yoruba nation, for peace in Yoruba land. And he went as far as losing everything he has worked for this thing he believes in. How many of us can do that? They didn't even ask you to lose anything. They said, come on, bura. Olódùwà láyé o. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn nínú wa ẹ mọ complaint kan ṣe. Ó gba doctorate kò gba doctorate. Ọmọ ẹ kú. Ó jẹ́ oyé nílé wọn kò jẹ́ oyé nílé wọn. Ó sọ sọ́kúsọ kò sọ sọ́kúsọ. Let me give you a common sense, because I know they said it's common, but it's not common. People have been coming with so much. Okay, is the noise, is it too noisy or what? Or is it too, is the bass too much? Uncle, you said something I don't understand. Let me listen to it myself, because you said something. I want to make sure that what you said is, I can adjust it, because tí ó bá sẹ́yìn kò sí mi. Bàbá Àjàlá ẹni sùúrù, àwọn ọmọ yín wọ́n dúró dè yín, wọ́n retí yín gan ní rẹpẹtẹ, wọ́n ti pọ̀ lórí ìlà tán dúró dè yín. Okay, wọ́n ló wà okay o. Okay. So what people want is the ability to say àwa la wà ńbẹ̀. And kò sẹ́ni kankan tó wà anywhere yàtọ̀ sí ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá fi síbẹ̀. You dey need ògo, you need the praise, you need any post. I'm not looking for anything. No, uncle, it's you. If you are telling me it's not loud enough, any láti yí sókè lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ́hùn. Nítorí pé ọmọ orí kan body ni my meter is saying. Okay. Ta ló yàn ẹ́ láti máa búra fún yàn? Ta ló yàn Mósè? Why tó lọ wọlé àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè? Let me ask you a question. Bàbá Adéníran ṣe ní ọjọ́ kan. Bàbá Akíntóyè wá sórí iṣu lọ́jọ́ kejì. Ta ni ó mọ̀ pé àjẹ́ tó ké lánàá ló pọ̀ ọmọjẹ lénìí? Come on. Why should Baba Adéníran talk to me today and then you don't know I'm a detective? Come on. Wá mi sọ, wá mi sọ, kí ẹ yé bá wa jẹ́. My only prayer is that all these people that were against this struggle for no reason, Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kó jọ kó bá mi fi ọwọ́ tán okùn àyà wọn. Àti pàápàá àwọn kan orí kan ṣòro bájà láì nídìí. Àwọn orí kan ṣòro kọjú sí láì nídìí. Ẹ má wà lórí ayín lórí o, mo bẹ̀ yín ni nítorí pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Let us get it right. Let us do it right. And you will find out things will go well for all of us. Nítorí pé eré ìje kan náà ni gbogbo àjọ ń sá. What you want is what I want. And if that is the truth, absolute truth, and nothing but the truth, I don't think you should be angry for doing Ibura. Well, because you don't want to do Ibura yourself. You just want to bring commotion. Well, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, babe. So we have to find alternative means of doing it. Alternative way of doing it. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé bàbá mi wọlé nítorí pé bàbá o Olúwa dá bàbá sí fún wa. Bàbá o Olúwa dá bàbá sí. Baba Ajala is always ready to do the needful when it comes to Yoruba nation. And on this note, I want to welcome not only my mentor, my guidance, my father, the one I love to emulate. I wish I have half of all the information Baba had in his head. A man full of wisdom, integrity, call it whatever. This man has it under his bed. Baba Ajala, ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí, ṣé dáadáa lẹ wà gbogbo Lagos?
A dúpẹ́, ẹ ṣé gan, ẹ kú àyẹ́sí. Ó pẹ́ díẹ̀ tí mo ti yọ sí gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn mi. Then máa fi àsìkò ìtọrọ ìdáríjì pé mi ò ráyè láti bá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta tí wọ́n ti ń gbìyànjú láti bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. nítorí pé mo wà nínú nǹkan tó ń pè ní pé ìrònú nípa ibo là ń lọ, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe, nítorí pé mo mọ̀ pé a máa débẹ̀. So òní ni ó dàbẹ̀ ń pé Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ti sọ pé máa ṣẹ̀tún jáde láti máa bá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ títí kan bàbá mi Professor Banji Akintoye. Ó ṣe mí láàánú pé fóònù tí wọ́n fóònù mi sí ẹnìkan ara wọn tí mi ò bá sọ̀rọ̀ láti jọ ẹ jẹ́ kí n dá a lóhùn. Démọ́lá.
Hello.
Démọ́lá.
Hello. Ẹ kálẹ́ o.
Ò ní bínú sí mi ni, I have not been that well most of the time tó máa ń pè mí àjà kí n máa sùn or kí n wà níbi iṣẹ́, but this morning tó pè mí mo ṣì ń sùn, so mo á ní pé tó bá di àárọ̀ láti ìgbà tí mo tún wá ń sùn lọ́sàn-án because I'm trying to get my strength back. I became so weak after I contracted a very bad cough to last more than 2 weeks.
Messages are not being responded to, the phone calls not there.
Ìfarabalẹ̀, from tomorrow anytime to back with me, I'm ready. We need to talk. And now, gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ń gbọ́ mi ní kíní ó dà nǹkan switch me off.
bàbá máa padà wá bá láìpẹ́ ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọkùnrin, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ obìnrin, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọmọdé, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àgbàlagbà yín pé ní àṣẹ Èdùmàrè ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba aláwùrábí àwa máa débi tá à ń lọ ní àìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Tí ò sí ohunkóhun tó máa yẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́, tí ò sí ohunkóhun tó máa dí wa lọ́wọ́, nítorí pé Ọlọ́run àánú máa bá wa ṣe ní àṣeyọrí ni. Tí bàbá bá ti rẹ́dì, kán jọ kán bá mi náwó sókè kí n lè mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti rẹ́dì, kí n lè gbé wọn padà wọ inú ilé. Kí bàbá tó padà wálé, Gbémilékè, bàbá Alex, ẹ kú ìjọ́ mẹ́ta sà. Oyètọ́lá, same here, my sister, to make sense. Someone wants to go and sleep. Mr. Thomas, and Lembe. Welcome, Alex. Alex Ajala, Ekujometa. Welcome the head boy. Baba Ajala is the head boy, not me. Mike, I'm not enough to be the head boy. I'm just a servant, like Baba will call himself. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin wa. Kẹ́ mi ṣe sọ pé téèyàn bá fẹ́ nǹkan lótìtọ́ àti lódodo, gbogbo nǹkan tó bá gbà èèyàn máa fún. Kí nǹkan téèyàn bá ń wá yẹn ó lè tètè tẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Nítorí pé kò sí nǹkan tí èèyàn fẹ́ ṣe láyé yìí tó bá ti tẹ́jú mọ́ àdébẹ̀ ni. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọkùnrin àti obìnrin ó dà pé nǹkan tá à ń fẹ́ yẹn àtẹ́júmọ́ tó, àwa tó, àárín lórí ẹ̀ tó. Nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló dá mi lójú pé ibi tí àwa fẹ́ lọ ta fẹ́ tètè débẹ̀, àwọn fẹ́ rìnrìn jẹ̀lẹ́ńkẹ́ débẹ̀ ni o. Àdẹ̀ nígbà àní àkókò rárá, nítorí pé mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹ mọ ẹni tó kọrin. Àkókò kò dúró dẹ́nìkan o, ọ̀rẹ́ ò tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́. Òwúrọ̀ ènìyàn nílé ayé òbí ìpínlẹ̀ ilé lórí. Ó bá lè kọ́ sórí àpáta o kò má kọ́ sórí ìyanrìn. Ayé ẹ̀ gbọ́ sí ti. Ẹ bá jẹ́ ká fàárọ̀ múra ká má ṣẹlẹ̀ yà. Ajala travel all over the world by Ebenezer Obey. Baba Ajala has always been ready to speak to you. I mean, a naughty boy. I mean, need time much. I am the culprit. So if you want to blame anybody, make sure you blame me, because I'm the one who has been very, very naughty. Tí bàbá bá ready, kí wọ́n kọ náwó sókè báyìí kí n lè rí wọn. IK Dairo ni wọ́n ní ọkọ orin yẹn. Mo dúpẹ́ pé gbogbo yín ẹ kú àìgbàgbé. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kò ní fi ìgbàgbé ṣe ti gbogbo wa. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe ń sọ lọ, nǹkan tó pàtàkì ni pé nǹkan tá à ń fẹ́ yìí ló yẹ ká tẹjúmọ́. Ó yẹ ká ya ká wo ọ̀tún ká wo sí ká wo ohunkóhun yàtọ̀ sí pé Yorùbá nation bá ṣe máa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ tó fi máa dé. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló wà láyé yìí. Ṣé ẹ ti rẹ́dí sà? Bàbá ẹ ti rẹ́dí? Okay, wọ́n ti rẹ́dí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló wà láyé yìí.
In fact, wọ́n pè wọ́n láwọn.
Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló wà láyé tó yẹ pé wọ́n ń ṣe olóòótọ́. And some people want to leave the door open. If I don't read message, I will be rubbish. I'll be rubbish. Okay. I don't know what to say. Maybe we should have an opinion poll. Because why should we be running after something? What are we about to ready, Abi? Don't want to ready. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn. Okay, bàbá ti ready. Ẹ ṣé bàbá, mo dúpẹ́, ẹ má bínú sí wa. Ó yá, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ lọ, ẹ̀ ń kí àwọn èèyàn yín.
Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn mi bí ṣe máa ń sọ, àti pé mo tọrọ ìdáríjì, a very great apology for not reaching out to a lot of people, including Prof. àti Professor Ayiloge, Professor Adeniran. He sent me a link which I responded to, and I wanted to send some other documents to him as to what I have prepared on my system over the years. And so, but from this week, along, as I've gained my strength back, I'll be able to do it. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè tó fún mi lálàáfíà tó jẹ́ kí n lè bọ́nú ikọ́ tí mi ò mọ ibi tó ti wá. And mo lè sọ̀rọ̀ nsìn. I'm happy about that. But nǹkan tí máa bẹ gbogbo Yorùbá ni pé àtẹni tí ò fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, àtẹni tó fẹ́ Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ àdíra wa lọ́wọ́. Nítorí pé ibì kan náà là ń lọ, a lè sá kúrò ní ilé bàbá wa ká sọ pé kì í ṣe ilé bàbá wa mọ́. Nítorí pé ìlú tí wọ́n ń pè Nàìjíríà yìí, ìlú tí wọ́n ń pè ní Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè. Àwọn yìí tẹ̀ ń ka Bábẹ́lì bíi tèmi, nǹkan tó ń pè ní ìlú tí Ọlọ́run dàrú tó ń pè ní Tower of Babel, nǹkan tá à ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe Nàìjíríà nìyẹn. Àwọn ẹ̀yà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ tọ́lọ́run dá tó fún lórílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀, wọ́n ń gbìyànjú láti papọ̀ mọ́ orílẹ̀ tí ó jẹ́ pé kì í ṣe bàbá wọn ló dálẹ̀. Tẹ́ pé àwọn òyìnbó ńgbà tán dálẹ̀, wọ́n jà lórí ẹ̀ ni, àwọn òyìnbó Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àti àwọn òyìnbó Faransé. So, but àwọn òyìnbó Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ló win. But kán tó win ní kọ́, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ibi tá à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà sìn ọwọ́ àwọn Faransé ló wà, including Sokoto gan tá à ń pariwo tí Sultan wà tó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé òun ni ọba Nàìjíríà. Àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ kọ́ ló dá Nàìjíríà lẹ̀, kì í dẹ̀ ṣe pé àwọn òyìnbó dálẹ̀ fún wọn, but àwa la máa ń rò bí bóyá òyìnbó ló dálẹ̀ fún wọn. Àwọn náà ń claim ẹ̀, àwa dẹ̀ gbà pẹ̀lú wọn. Torí pé yẹ ara wa wò. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí àwọn bàbá wa kan sọ nígbà tí wọ́n lọ mu tíì ní Zungeri ní 1914, táwọn kan máa ń sọ pé wọ́n lọ sign amalgamation, wọn sign kankan. wọ́n sọ fún wọn pé ìlú ti papọ̀ ni. Amalgamation document was signed by Lord Harcourt kí ọ̀gbẹ́ni ẹ̀ tó gbé wá sí Nàìjíríà. September 1913 ni Lord Harcourt sign it, and Viscount Harcourt nígbà tó sign it, to compensate him, Lugard sọ pé port kan wà táwọn ń ṣe sí Niger Delta area níbi tí river Niger ti ṣàn sí òkun, wọ́n pè Niger Delta area. So to compensate his signage náà wá pè bẹ́ẹ̀ ní Port Harcourt tá a mọ̀ lónìí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tó wà ní Port Harcourt mọ̀ pé orúkọ yẹn kò ń ṣe orúkọ abínibí ìlú wọn, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe orúkọ abínibí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kí àwọn èèyàn wa àtọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n kan ti jókòó láti rò, láti sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn. Àwọn bàbá wa kó ló dá Nàìjíríà lẹ̀. Èwo ni kí ọmọ Yorùbá kó máa fò sókè kó sọ pé àfi dandan òun fẹ́ mú Nàìjíríà dúró. Àwọn forefathers wa kọ́ ló dá Nàìjíríà lẹ̀. So ní ìgbà kíní tí wọ́n ṣe this Nottingham Carnival tán, mo gbọ́ nínú kíní àwọn broadcast tí mo gbọ́ pé Nigeria is not a nation. That is not the only statement. There must be a follow-up. Nigeria is an amalgam. And if it's an amalgam, and it is failing us that we are all reloading ourselves into Europe and America, then it has to be dissolved. America was formed from the barrel of the gun. Britain was formed out of conquest and assimilation. But we were formed out of an amalgam. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́jọ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ẹ mọ ìtumọ̀ amalgam. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́jẹ́ Yorùbá wọ́n sábà pa àtẹ méjì pọ̀ pé kí owó lè máa wọlé sí i. Tówó ò bá wọlé sí i, wọ́n á tún rò pé àtẹ méjì tá a papọ̀ yìí kò rọgbọ, jẹ́ ká tú kólúkálùkù máa lọ ṣe tiẹ̀. Bọ́rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ṣe rí nìyẹn. Èmi ò mọ ìdí abájọ tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ máa kọ̀ pé àwọn kì í ṣe Yorùbá, tí wọ́n kọ̀ láti mọ̀ pé táwọn bá dá dúró nìkan lè rọgbọ fún wọn, àtèmi náà. Ìṣẹ́ bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí i. Ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti mọ̀ pé tá a bá dá dúró, gbogbo nǹkan tí àríṣe nílẹ̀ wa nísìn ló máa yọ síta. Àwọn ọmọ wa ló máa ṣe gbogbo nǹkan. Ṣé railway ni? A ní àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ railway engineers all over the world. A máa fọ́ọ̀mù wọn sí consortium. In fact, mo ti gbìyànjú láti ṣe ní London nígbà kan way back early year 2000. But ìgbà tá a dẹ̀ rówó, tá a bá gbé company lọ sí Nàìjíríà, wọ́n á ní bolẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ́mọ Yorùbá ni. Torí mo rántí ìgbà tí mo ṣiṣẹ́ ní BT, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá méjì kan náà gba sabbatical leave náà pé wọ́n gba holiday for 2 years. Wọ́n láwọn fẹ́ lọ ran Nàìjíríà bọ́n ṣe mọ̀, torí pé wọ́n rò bí orílẹ̀-èdè ni, kò ń ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè. Orílẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n pín àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ sínú Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ṣe pín ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sí Nàìjíríà. Ìtókù lára ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wà ní Benin, ó wà ní Togo. Lára wa wà ní Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Gambia. Mo ṣe rí nìyẹn. So wọ́n pín wa mọ́ Nàìjíríà ni. Ó dùn mí pé ó dẹ̀ ṣe mí láàánú pọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ wa tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá ò mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ò kì í ṣe Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá kàn jẹ́ lára Nàìjíríà ni. Èdè. Ká mọ ìtumọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn bàbá wa ló kọ́ wa ní ọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ tá a gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀. kò ṣe mí láàánú, kò dẹ̀ tí pẹ́ jù fún wa láti rí pé a gbọ́dọ̀ padà sí ìdí ọ̀rọ̀. Ta ni mí? Tá bá sọ pé Nàìjíríà ni wá, kí lédè Nàìjíríà? Tá bá sọ pé Yorùbá ni mí, tó bá ní kí lédè àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, Yorùbá ni. Àwọn nílẹ̀ káàárọ̀ oòjíire, àjíbí, ojúmọmọ, ojúre, àpéláyé, Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè á dúró tì wá. Àwa nìyẹn. Tí n bá sọ gbogbo eléyìí fún ọmọ Ìgbò ṣó gbọ́? Kí n lọ sáàrin ìlú wọn lọ́hùn, tàbí kí n lọ sílẹ̀ Haúsá kí n sọ fún wọn. Tí òyìnbó ò bá wá sí West Africa, kí n lo ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, kò sí bí àwọn baálẹ̀ wa kankan ṣe lè dìde kán sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní àti Haúsá lókè ọ̀yà lọ́hùn pé ẹ̀yin ará bíbà yìí o, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣèlú pọ̀ o. Ṣé wọ́n máa gbédè tán sọ? Kán lọ sí ìlà oòrùn, ìyẹn Eastern region, kán débẹ̀, kán kọjá ní Ọya, ní odò Ọya, kán kọjá sódì kejì pé ẹ̀yin ará bíbà yìí o, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣèlú pọ̀ o. Ṣé wọ́n máa gbọ́? Èwo la ń fi èdè elédè tanra wa? Torí pé a gbé ìbò tá a mọ̀ túmọ̀ ẹ̀ tán, a sọ pé we are one. Tí n bá túmọ̀ ẹ̀ sí èdè Yorùbá, tí n bá sọ fún Yorùbá pé ìkan náà ni wá, ó mean pé orísun kan náà láti wá. That is common ancestral origin, common way of life, common language. Ṣé ìyẹn jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà? Èwo la fi ń tanra wa tá a mọ̀ pé tá a bá dá dúró, ìyẹn gan ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ civilization wa, ìlọsíwájú wa. Èdè wa la máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fi ṣe ìkàwé, la máa fi ṣe ìjọba, la máa fi ṣe oríṣiríṣi nǹkan. Bí Professor Fáfúnwá ṣe ní Ifẹ̀, jẹ́ pé bí experiment ni, ló mú class kan, èdè Yorùbá náà fi kọ́ wọn láti form 1 títí dé form 6 àbí form 5. Wọ́n kọ́ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì mọ́ lesson as a subject. Wọ́n sọ fún wọn pé èdè Yorùbá náà fi explain chemistry, physics, biology, everything, geography fún wọn. Ìtàn ti sọ fún wọn pé ẹ gbọ́ èdè Yorùbá, ẹ dẹ̀ gbọ́ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe WAEC o, èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì lẹ máa fi dáhùn gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ ti kọ́. All of them passed 100%. Ẹ lọ wo record yẹn, kò sí kan tí Yorùbá ò lè ṣe. Ṣé ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ aláwa ń bí tá a gba PhD mélòó mẹ́kan, kò ń le fún wa láti kàwé. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ni wá, bọ́tà lọ́gbọ́n wa sí ọ̀nà tó dáa. Gbogbo àgbáyé ló kán sára fún Yorùbá, bọ́tà kán sára fúnra wa. A fẹ́ pera wa ní Yorùbá, a fẹ́ mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ni, ó ju ẹ̀sìn lọ. Ìlú ìta wà ní London bíbáyìí, wọ́n ní àwọn nǹkan ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ tó ń ṣe yàtọ̀ sí Kìrìsìtẹ́nì tó wọ́n gbé wá fún wa. Mélòó lára wọn lọ́yìn lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì? Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹni tó bá rò pé òun kì í ṣe Yorùbá títorí pé òun fẹ́ ṣe election tàbí owó tó fẹ́ gbà, kó ronú pìwàdà. Torí Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ń dúró de gbogbo wa pé ká padà síbi tá a ti yọ. Tá bá ti padà síbẹ̀, torí mo máa ń sọ, I cry for the soul of the departed who have been wronged, who have been murdered, who have been sold into slavery by our own people, by our own hands. If their soul are grieved, they should forgive us. Now I've been saying this right from every time I come on this channel from year 2020. The beginning of our salvation is understanding that we are not Nigerians. We are just living in that and a borrowed space in terms of politics. To me, I've always said Western region Yoruba is a vassal of the federal government of Nigeria from 1962. By default, Nigeria had died since then. We, the Yorubas, have been patching it up and trying to hold it up. The others don't bother about it. The Hausas want to dominate you. They have an agenda which predates even the presence of the white man in West Africa. And the white men, like one Mr. Gibbon, had written papers on this in the 1700s, that the Fulani people or Fulas are coming to West Africa to conquer and take over the lands of the black. It's an ancient thing. It's not about Britain supporting the Fulanis. It is not. We are the ones who are not looking at history. And even in our recent history, our battles with them, even before we became fully colonized in the 1800s, should that not teach us a sense of responsibility to hold on to our Yoruba nation? Is the sovereignty that we have to establish by calling for the dissolution. The Northerners, a lot of them, like Ango and Brula in 2018, had called for the dissolution of Nigeria. But when it comes to a Yoruba man saying that, hey, what is wrong with us? I've been warned several times. I've missed some chances of making a very important statement. When there was one video going around the country in 2013, throughout the year on CNN, showing some young kids marching and coming forward to say in 1914, the next one taking, our elders came together. Where did our elders came together? When I wanted to challenge CNN, some of my friends say, if you want money, this is an aberration of facts. It is not true. None of our elders came together. It is sad that all of us sat down and watched it, including myself. I was helpless because I hope I didn't consult anyone and I just went ahead to challenge this and stop CNN from broadcasting, because they are falsehood. They are filling the world with falsehood. And that was under Jonathan. He was trying to impress some people. Why are we just as Africans don't stand up to the truth? These countries in Africa created are not our countries. They are European territories created in Africa that Africans happen to find themselves living in. It doesn't have any meaning. I've seen several authors, Europeans, reviewing the situation in Africa and telling and making conclusions that most of the countries should not have been created in the first place, including Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They have been fighting since just a few weeks after independence, and up as we speak, they are still killing each other. What saved us is the education that Oluwole introduced in Western region from the 50s. That enlightened us. But that enlightenment we did not take advantage of. That enlightenment should have given us the fact that we are not the same with the Fulanis and Igbos. And I remember Dr. Akerele, one of the first medical doctors in West Africa, or perhaps Nigeria, I will call it, because it aches my mind when I remember the word Nigeria, because it's killing the development of our people. Most factories have been turned into churches, and people will be going to those churches and be praying for a job, with those factories that have been closed down should have provided. Yet some of our people still say they believe in Nigeria. Ṣé ẹ̀sìn ni Nigeria don't believe in? Kò ń ṣẹ̀sìn. Orílẹ̀ tí àwọn kan abandon, tán dẹ̀ encourage àwa Yorùbá pé ká kúrò tipẹ́tipẹ́ ní 53 wọ́n sọ. It's the presence of the British that is keeping Nigeria together. Àbọ̀rọ̀ náà sọ fún ọmọlúwàbí náà. Àwa la pa yín pọ̀. Tá bá lọ tán kí lẹ fẹ́ ṣe. Tí wọ́n bá mú èdè wọn náà lọ náà kọ́, tá a sọ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì mọ́, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ fi èdè wa bá Ìgbò àti Fúlàní àti Haúsá sọ̀rọ̀? Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣèjọba? Àrònú yẹn. Like I said, we are very intelligent and wise, but we have not used our intelligence and wisdom in the process of understanding who we are. Brilliant scholars all over the place, praised all over the world, and even our hosts are learning our language with money, our culture and tradition, and Ifa, everything. Yet we sit down, we are running away from our tradition that is now gaining currency worldwide, from Russia to Israel, to Japan, to Turkey, to the Americas, of course, our brothers and sisters in Brazil and in North America, who some of them who are going look back to their homeland and regretted. They cried in their souls. They are missing their loved ones because we sold them out. The white man did not come to fight a battle to take us. That is why I believe we don't have a right to be calling for reparation. We should first of all clean ourselves. Our forefathers. Unfortunately, my great-great-grandmother was a slave owner in this time and was a military general, one of those who prevented the Fulani century Yoruba land from the northeast part of Yoruba land, their Koko area and all that. Yes, she was. But we sold them. And our great father, Oluwole, has said that if we want this, we have to repent. We have to have a remorseful mind and cry to the souls of the departed for forgiveness. I've said this over and over before. It has come up again now. I said, I'm right. And that's why we don't have Leke and Nayadaba flying over our skies anymore. Because the cry of the souls and the blood of the departed that we have wronged, and which we are still wronging in the process of maybe making more money. And there's a way to get out of this. We need every one of us, including our Obas, to understand that it is time for the Yoruba race to stand on its own once more. And some Fulani, somebody saying that before amalgamation there was no design. That was the biggest lie I can ever think of. The point is that our Yoruba group of kingdoms still existed. We were only cut and quartered, some of us into Nigeria, some of us left into Dahomey, and then the Germans took the rest in Togo, and then the British again. Some of our people were just east of the River Volta and south of Accra and Omoba. That's the extent, the continuous extent of Yoruba land along the West African coast and forest. Well, I wouldn't say geography has not done well for us. We have several rivers flowing freely into the sea, which we can harness for electricity. Keep on saying that. And these rivers are supposed to give us water supply into our homes, not perforating the soil to dig up bad water, particularly in Lagos, poisoned water, which had caused a lot of what do they call that disease? Is this diarrhea or something like that that's been killing youths in Lagos, and some of our houses falling down because the land had been so perforated and the house lean and fall off. Those of you living in Lagos, you know what I'm talking about. Hundreds of houses have been falling almost every month because the land had been perforated. Whereas Oyo Dam is there, which was built, I would say an accidental build. Because if you look at dam distribution in Nigeria, dam building distribution, almost all of them are in the north. I said that before. When we sit down in the south, where we have free rivers, God-given system, flowing rapidly that could be harnessed to give electricity to rural areas, make rural areas livable, so that people don't drift, population drifts into Lagos. Lagos has become an amorphous city. It's so choked up. You can't move. And look at the railway they are trying to build. I was reading some papers of completion of 4 of the 5 stations. There's not a railway yet on it between Marina and Mile 2. It's supposed to be a 27-mile long line. The newly completed the Elizabeth line, which was formerly called TFL Rail, is 117 kilometers. They started building it 2018 and they've completed it. They started the Mile 2 thing, I think 2009 or something, or 20, yes, around that. When I, myself and my colleague, we have a consortium, a technology consortium. We were invited and we attended the railway conference. We used to attend those railway conferences all over Britain. On one occasion, we were in 2010, we were in Birmingham. We were so proud to announce that there is going to be 9 metro lines constructed in Lagos to open up Lagos for industrial rapid movement of goods and services. But at the same time, we were very proud of it. And then we said this first line, the blue line, will be completed by say 2011 or 2012 at the most. And some of our friends, colleagues from all over the world, were trying to see how they could connect to provide services for the new line to be completed. Because if you don't just complete a line, there are other services that can be provided, including cards and all that, and then electricity supply, which is very fitful in Lagos, how they could improve on it and maybe establish dedicated power stations like the underground had in the past until recently. The underground had its own dedicated power stations. So that was what they were thinking, that if Lagos had fitful, unreliable electricity, they could provide a power station that would power the lines. That's what they were promising us. Of course, as we speak now, that line has not been completed. I don't see the pride in some of our people. I just read through 4 of the 5 stations between Mile 2, most of you know Lagos, and Marina had been completed. There's not a railway running on it. It's the stations they are talking about. I didn't even know the quality. I'll find out, because that's a field I'm interested in. like I said earlier, Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kó là wá lójú ká mọ̀ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ gbẹ́kẹ̀lé Nàìjíríà bí òun ló máa gbà wá là. Ọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá election 2023, I feel sad pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn wa Yorùbá wọ́n predicate future wọn lórí 2023. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn tá à ń bá ṣe plan tiwọn is over 500 years old. Ọgbà tí wọ́n dé tòsí ibi tí à ń pè Nàìjíríà nísìn was just about 200 plus years ago. Tí wọ́n sọ Gọ̀bì di Sokoto. Gọ̀bì was the capital of the Hausa states. Wọ́n pa ọba Gọ̀bì, wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ di Sokoto kan tó yí sí Sokoto. Àwọn èèyàn wa tán dàgbà jù mí lọ tán wà láyé, wọ́n á rántí pé nígbà kan wọ́n máa ń sọ pé àwọn ará Gọ̀bì àbí Gògòbìrí tí wọ́n sá wá sí ìlú wa, wọ́n wá sáàdì wa ni. Ìyẹn ló jẹ́ kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀wà ká máa rò pé tí ewé bá pẹ́nu ọṣẹ ti dọṣẹ, ọṣẹ àdàmọ̀dì ni, kò ń ṣẹṣẹ gidi. Láàárín wa àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wà tó ń gbọ́ èdè Yorùbá tó ń ṣe Yorùbá tó yẹ pé àwọn tó ń sáwádìí wa ni, tá a gbà wọ́n lálejò, àdèmọ̀ àlejò tọ́jú. Bí òyìnbó kan náà ṣe sọ nìyẹn, even bí àwọn òyìnbó ṣe mọ̀ wá nìyẹn. Àwọn òyìnbó pátápátá àti Faransé àti kíní, àwọn tó ń sọ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àti German, wọ́n mọ̀ pé a ní ojú àánú, a lè tọ́jú àlejò ju ara wa lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ní kí Clapperton nígbà tó ṣe second journey wá sí West Africa pé kó go through Yoruba country. Ìtọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ wa tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní accuse Britain pé wọ́n fi Yoruba country pamọ́. I can't imagine. Ṣé mo sọ pé a kàwé? But wọ́n wádìí. Even ní Òdúṣọ̀tẹ̀, ibi tí wọ́n predicate ọ̀rọ̀ wọn sí ni Mrs. Hidara tó dá Kúdẹ̀tì Girls School lẹ̀ ní Ìbàdàn in the 1840s. Tó kọ my life in the Yoruba country. Àwọn sọ pé British Parliament ló gbórúkọ yẹn pamọ́. Why can we not find out? Ìwé Hidara wọ́n tà ní Òdúṣọ̀tẹ̀ in those days when I remember. In remembrance of her work in Ibadan. Wọ́n tà l'Òdúṣọ̀tẹ̀ book and many other CMS bookshops. I have a copy. I was so amazed and irritated that our own people, highly educated, will bring that kind of word up and accuse the British government of hiding the name Yoruba country. Kí ló ń ṣe wá? We have a right to get registration at the British Museum, the British Library, and even the archives to find out facts. Do we do that fact? Or perhaps a lot of us don't have. We look at the softest statement to accuse those we should not accuse. They laugh at us. Just the same thing as the idea of 100 years of Nigeria. The man who created the amalgam, who got it signed, Lugard, and who signed it? Lord Harcourt, Lord Viscount Harcourt. And in November of 1913, when one of his colleagues, Mr. Statsky, was asking him, "What have you just done?" I said, "It's a temporary matter in part and in place, with the idea that, well, after a few years, the whole thing will dissolve." It's an amalgam anyway. Instead of us taking advantage of those facts, we are fighting a fight that would have been very easy for us. We are intelligent, we are brilliant. We can argue that case. This is an amalgam. And we are speaking English language to run that country, which is a Bible in the first place. And it's not working. Deliberately, electricity started to run down in Nigeria, particularly in the south. The waterways that were used in carrying Gedu from Agbabu, Okitipa to Focados and other places of which I have traveled when I was young became covered up with water hyacinth. What do growing nations do? They clear them, and water hyacinth is good for other products like mats, like chemicals. It's a disadvantage. We can turn it to an advantage. That's what has been done in Lake Victoria in East Africa. Water hyacinth harvesting is a big industry. Brings money to the hands of the people. What do? We keep on praising those who should not be praising. We depend on a 4-yearly cycle of largesses. Is that life? We talk about electricity. The people now buy their transformers, their posts, the wires, the meters. Is that development? That we said Nigeria is the fastest growing economy in Africa? That's not development. Development should start from the grassroots, from the people that make the country, and the people that make the nation. Many things. Roads, railway. After the derelict construction of the 1900s to 1914 and beyond a little bit, I have some of the documents here. Well, another time I will read from about the construction of the railway. And in fact, money for that construction was got from the administrators, the white administrators in the south. They were either begged or cajoled to release money for the construction of the railway in the north. And the administrators in the north refused to join the railway in the north to the one coming from the south. The one coming from the south reached Jeba, and there was not a Jeba bridge until their home government told them. So invariably, Nigeria has never been the same. It's only a lie. The white administrators in the south were different from the white administrators in the north. Check the records. They did not work together. They were only forced to accept that they are in the same country. To a point where one Mr. Smith, one of the administrators, called Lugard the champion of anatomy of lying. It was built on lies, and it was built on corruption. Lugard was one of the first to be appropriating some of the monies collected for himself, and we'll call it some of his sweeteners that he will spend in England on his 6-month yearly exit from the so-called Nigeria he put together. And at some point, records show that there was £1,700,000 that was accrued to the government in the south. And then he took almost everything and lied that he only took 770,000. They are on records. So you will not be surprised that this thing had amplified itself up to today. In 1922, the census was counted in a way, it was counted in a way to make sure that they not had more people than they did, so that they can get more money into their coffers. So recently, The Economist published a material, curiously, what did they call it? Some of you must have it, that thing. And then they analyze the Nigerian situation, that in Nigeria, population is used as an economic advantage to favor the different sections of the country. So the more lies you tell about how many people you have, the more money you will get. And that's why you find that Kano, that is not supposed to be what we are talking about, has almost over 700 local governments. And Lagos, that is much bigger, still do not have up to 30. Yet we have said this and we are shouting that we still want to remain Nigerians. We accept wretchedness. Or is the slave mentality still with us? We saw some of our people, and then mentally we are selling our own selves. May the gracious Lord forgive us and wake up to reality that we have to go back to our homeland and develop it rapidly with our hands, because we have the intellect, we have the manpower, we have the capital, human capital, to develop our country. I mean Yoruba sovereign nation. We do. And we should not forget, we need a leadership. Gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di leadership wa, the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. If we do, we are going to delay the result we are looking for. Gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di Professor Banji Akintoye. He's the key. He holds the key. He's a very humble man. He has the power, but he does not blow it to us. But some of us do know. He's the key. We should all rally around him so that he will talk on our behalf to the world, make a powerful broadcast. 3 powerful broadcasts. World Press Conference in some locations I will not mention now, which I will have to take permission from him, that I'll mention in a future talk. And when those broadcasts are made, a World Press Conference, we are going to make effort to make sure that he comes out to the world. He has to walk tall like he always does, and tell the world that the Africans are no longer interested in staying in constructed countries that the Europeans have left behind in the name of, what do they call it? Independence? We haven't had independence. No. No. I saw on the net a chair that was made, a regalia chair, that was presented to the Queen when she came to Nigeria. I would say Western region, because she stayed more time in Western region than any other part of Nigeria when she came. She stayed half a day in the north. The north, you say that the British government is always supporting. Technically, we feel that way, but it is wrong. This is a topic to be discussed later. We put ourselves in this. Let us pull ourselves out of it. Àwọn bàbá kọ́ ló dá Nàìjíríà lẹ́ o. Wọn ò bá ẹnìkankan ṣèpàdé pé ẹ̀yin ará bíbá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣèlú pọ̀ o. Ìdí abájọ ni pé àwọn òyìnbó, àwọn Faransé àti àwọn Germany àti Gẹ̀ẹ́sì wọ́n wá sí West Africa, wọ́n dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí court nǹkan tó ń pè ní spheres of influence. Ní pé èmi mo ní bíbá, ìwọ ló ní tọ̀hún. Àti rí boundary ti Nigeria 8 years ló gbà, from 1890 to 1898. Ìgbà yẹn territory náà ń pè, kò tí sí orúkọ Nàìjíríà. 1897 lórúkọ Nàìjíríà jáde when Miss Flora Shaw tó coin word yẹn gbà tó ń ronú pé òkè àwọn tí yá jù lórí boundaries these territories, àwọn mọ̀ nípa Kìṣí, àwọn mọ̀ nípa Sókótó, àwọn mọ̀ nípa Ọ̀yọ́, kí ni a tẹ̀ máa pe gbogbo eléyìí. And some of them olùgádà àtàwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn ní òkè tábà pè ní àtàwọn tó wà ní diplomatic court tó ń ṣe ìpàdé yẹn tábà pè ní New Sudan kọ or Niger Sudan or Western Sudan. So in my book that we wrote in 1999, I suggested that it could have been called Lugadian, just like Rhodesia was named after Cecil Rhodes, the diamond magnate, the young diamond and gold magnate of Southern Africa. So Nigeria could have been called Lugadian. Don't know how it would have sounded in our so much pride of saying, I'm a Lugadian, I believe in Lugadian. I'm a Nigerian. What Nigeria? It has destroyed our progress. Look at the millions of us outside. Brilliant young men and women, some retired, some hoping to go home, and some even lying to their children. I've had that experience. And when I was talking like this to one of the young men, I was told that I had been brainwashed. I could not argue with him. I left him in his ignorance that one day, he will understand what I'm talking about. They have come from a homeland called Ibadan, which is in a Yoruba group of kingdoms. Ibadan happened to be a military encampment in those days. About there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, a gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di leadership wa. Tá bá fojú di wọ́n, to belong for us to get what we want. Gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ gbárùkù tì wọ́n. Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tá bá ní, we should now see ourselves as coordinators for the achievement of the Yoruba sovereign nation. I don't see anything wrong in us all coming together now behind the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. We march behind him to the promised land. Like we both said so many in year 2000, that ọkọ̀ wa ti ṣí, ẹni tó bá fẹ́ wọ̀ kó táré wọ̀, because we are not going to look back. Those of us who are still in doubt, I pray for them to remember who they are. Torí ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n. Tó bá sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, it's like they don't want themselves to exist. That's the meaning. Can you refuse to want yourself to exist?
Baba, what about those people that said they want Yoruba nation with mouth, but their actions speak louder than they don't want it?
I've answered that. Because if they don't want it, they are rejecting who they are. And they are rejecting the oriki to be wasile aye. They are rejecting their source. They are rejecting where they come from. Maybe they will look for a new homeland. And I don't wish that for them. Because they are still Yorubas. Because like I said, they haven't known the truth. We cannot predicate our future into accepting a country that was not created by our forefathers. Thank you.
Baba, before we come online, I discussed some few things which you have discussed with me before for a long time. And you are an advocate of Ibura on this journey. Is that so?
Yeah, I've said it a long time ago. We said it a long time ago. And even by the time we get our new nation, we have to go through that process. We have to do it according to the tradition of our land. It's not according to our individual. I'm a Christian, but it doesn't have to be as a Christian. I don't come from Israel. I come from a people who have existed over 12,000 years ago, who have always known their source. They have traveled the world. That's one thing. Most of people are talking about seeing people coming from Israel or from Egypt. We have always known Ife as our source. Orísun wa ni Ife. Àwọn ìbò mọ̀ yẹn jù wá lọ, àwa là ń sọ kámikàmi. And there's something tó mú kúrò nífẹ̀ẹ́ táwọn Germans mú kúrò nífẹ̀ẹ́ when they were looking for power, òṣùpá èèyàn, whatever they call it. It cannot work for any other nation unless it comes back to the source. Torí Hitler and some of his people were looking for power from everywhere in the world to aggregate to their power to be able to conquer the world and make it their own. And one of it was ours. They know much. Susan Weger happened to come from a place that has a high spiritual vibration like the Yoruba land. That was why when she came, I was lecturing in Ibadan. I'm not going to go beyond that. And then she ended up in Oshobo.
Okay. Bàbá, ká tó wá sórí ètò, mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ béèrè pé ìbúra, àsọ̀rọ̀ búra.
Yeah, mo mọ̀ pé àwa náà ti ṣe ìbúra. We are following behind because we believe in it. And then not only now, when we get our new nation, by the time we are starting, we are going to Igumere ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. La máa promise pé àní ṣìnà mọ́. A máa ìlànà tó jẹ́ pé àwa la ní, a gbọ́dọ̀ là fún gbogbo àgbáyé. A máa bẹ àwọn ẹ̀mí tó ti lọ, tó ti sọnù, tó jẹ́ pé lọ́wọ́ wa náà ti sọnù. Káàtà wọn. Àwọn tó ń pa tó jẹ́ kí àwọn nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run Ẹlẹ́dàá fi ṣe wá láǹfààní lékeléke ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀. Connection of spirituality ni. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ná ẹ̀kan awọ́ síta tí kíní funfun máa yọ ọ́nbẹ̀? Báwo ló ṣe débẹ̀? Kì í ṣe pé ẹyẹ yẹn ló yàgbẹ́ sí. But because wọ́n ń gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ, tá à ń yẹ wọ́n sí, ní wọ́n fi ń sọ pé a mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin lẹ wà ń bẹ̀. Ní kíní ẹ̀ ṣe ń yọ. Àwọn ọmọ wa mélòó ló ń rí kíní ẹ̀ mọ́?
Lékeléké gbá mi léèké o, àyànfẹ́.
Ṣé rí àwọn bàbá wa mọ̀?
Gbá mi léèké o, àyànfẹ́. A gbọ́dọ̀ wẹ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́. Bàbá ọlọ́rọ̀ kan, láàpin babaláwo, nǹkan tèmi náà ń sọ yìí, òun náà ti sọ ní 2020 ọ̀sọ̀ lé 2020. Pé níjọ́ kan, a gbọ́dọ̀ yanjọ́ kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ká kéròrò gba gbogbo mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin ìlúkìlú tá a bá wà, ìbá jẹ́ oko ni o, ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún ìdáríjì pé a fẹ́ yí padà. Nǹkan burúkú tí ó wá jẹ́ pé òun là ń gbé lárugẹ. Kọ́lọ́run Olódùmarè kan má jẹ́ ká máa ṣe mọ́. Because Yoruba land is a land of purity. Ọ̀tá ti sọ di òkùnkùn. Ẹ mọ̀ inú àwo náà. Kí ni àwọn kan aláwọ̀ kan tí máa ń wọ funfun? Ó ní ìtumọ̀, kì í ṣe kàn fẹ́ dírẹ́sì. A ní Brazil torí pé wọ́n rántí kíní ẹ̀ even títí àwọn Catholic Church, most of them white aṣọ àlà, suit aṣọ àlà náà ń wọ̀ because wọ́n believe in the Yoruba spirituality. Àwa dé bí báyìí. Catholic Church mo ń sọ yìí o. Àwa dé bí báyìí. Kíní kan mi torí Ọlọ́run.
even ìlú táwa London bíbá ó ní àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń bọ. Wọ́n máa ń bọ odò, even Archbishop of Canterbury, one of the last Archbishop, mo ti gbàgbé orúkọ ẹ̀, ọmọ Wales.
Ronse.
No, ìyẹn kọ́, is a different one, mo but kò pẹ́ nídìí ẹ̀. Ó máa ń tó bá dìgbà kíní ìkórè oko, ìdí ìkórè ti àwọn ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, wọ́n á lọ kó oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tí ọ̀gbìn sí abọ́ funfun. Wọ́n á lọ sí River Seine ní between Wales and England. Wọ́n á wade into the shores of it. Wọ́n á dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ odò. Tí ẹ lélẹ́yìí o, wọ́n á gbé igbá yẹn sí odò yẹn. Ṣèbí Christian, ṣèbí Archbishop ni. Ṣé àwa mọ̀ ju wọ́n lọ ni? Ṣé báwọn náà gbé Bible wá fún wa? Tí Queen bá ń wọ kíní, ó ní bí Queen ṣe ń wọ Parliament. Ṣé wà ní Bible?
Gbà.
Ẹni tó ń gbé wọn lọ ṣèbẹ́yìn ló máa fi wọlé. Ṣé Ọlọ́ẹ̀jọ́ èèyàn mi, ẹ má jẹ́ àgbàgbé ilé kárántí ọmọ tí à ń ṣe. We are first of all Yorubas before we are Christians or Muslims. And we have to go to that route first if we want a great Yoruba nation to emerge. That what I call atonement and belief in that Yoruba nation has to come first before any other thing. After that, you can now start to go and praise Olodumare, Jesus. Even Olodumare is Yoruba God. It's not the Christian God. It was easy for us to translate the Bible into our use and forget the origin, the source. Ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ti jáde. Ọ̀rọ̀ òní kí wọ́n má sọ̀hún. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kó má jẹ́ àṣì ọ̀rọ̀ sọ.
Àmín àṣẹ bàbá ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́. Mo dẹ̀ discuss pé ẹ máa búra lálẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ gbà àbí mo drive into it ni.
No, mo ti sọ pé nísìn àti because we are in the last race, we are putting the coal into the engine of the train, fakafiki, and it is going rapidly forward. And our Prof. Banji Akitoye is on the wheels, directing, and the rest of us are stoking it. If we have to do it now, we also have to do it when we start our new nation. And I have explained what we have to do. And most of our rallies now should be rally of Ike, Ìrora, peaceful, so that gbogbo ìta tí ń ṣe sẹ́yìn àwọn òyìnbó tí mo ti ń tàbí wọ́n ní is it a cultural reawakening of the Yoruba race until you put sovereignty into your plan?
Yes. That's when people get more interest.
That's the people, that's not a feel. All over, even àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Ìbàdàn and everywhere, they think we are trying to bring a cultural reawakening and remembrance of Yoruba people. We just say Yoruba nation. Arabic people sọ pé àgbédè tó, even èdè ìbò tá à ń sọ, a gbọ́dọ̀ qualify ọ̀rọ̀ wa. Yoruba nation now just means maybe you are doing a social club. Yoruba sovereign, that means these people want a nation of their own, sovereign. That's important. And the press will now start to come and say, what are you doing? Last time we asked you if you knew the source for the 100 year of Nigerian existence. I remember some of the press came to you, and I was also subtly interviewed about it. Said even from all the archives, there's nothing like that. Lucas said it was a temporary pattern in place. A temporary matter cannot be 100 years.
Yes.
And this is what we should have taken on board and used as an argument on the dissolution of the country, whereas the Northerners have always been calling for it. But when it comes to the edge, when the Yorubas are now picking up, they now start to change their voice. And then we are foolish enough to against, oh, yes, Nigeria, Shileda. Which Nigeria? A Nigeria that most people in Lagos are sleeping in darkness, except if they have generators, and except if they have enough money to buy the expensive fuel. Wake up, the Yoruba soul. Wake up, the Yoruba soul. Do not leave light behind. Let the light precede you and walk out of the darkness you are living in. Thank you.
Ṣé bàbá ẹ bá gbé omi yín síta sá? Okay, ẹgbẹ́ síbi tí ẹgbẹ́ síwájú yín ká máa rí nínú kámẹ́rà yín sá.
Àfi tí n bá sún kámẹ́rà sẹ́yìn.
Okay, ó wà òkè bẹ́ẹ̀ sá, àti rí díẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà sá. Ṣé bàbá ẹ lè gbé dání?
No, kí ni kámẹ́rà ni?
Ó wà òkè bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá, ẹ kàn gbé dání sá, ẹ gbé dání àárí lọ́wọ́ yín. Bàbá ẹ má wọrí, ẹ gbé dání. Nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe kì í ṣe pé mo mú yín tẹ̀tẹ̀ sí i.
No, it's the beginning of a final solution to our beginning. A final solution to our beginning.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá, mo dúpẹ́ pé ẹ bá mi yànnàná ẹ̀ àti pé nǹkan báyìí ó ti wà lọ́kàn tí yín kó tó wà lọ́kàn tèmi tipẹ́tipẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣe ilẹ̀ Olódùmarè ó ṣojú ilẹ̀ ó ṣojú Olódùmarè lálẹ́ yìí nígbà tí bàbá wa Oluwole ọmọ Ajala tí wọ́n fẹ́ búra fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti fún gbogbo ìran Yorùbá wípé àwọn ò ní da ọmọ Yorùbá, àwọn ò ní da ìran Yorùbá, àwọn á máa wá ìlọsíwájú ìran Yorùbá ní gbogbo ọ̀nà ṣáájú ìlọsíwájú orúkọ tàwọn gangan fúnra wọn. Ẹ bá mi sọ ní èdè tara yín ta ilẹ̀ ó ṣojú ẹ, Olódùmarè ó ṣojú ẹ.
Olódùmarè ó ṣojú ẹ o.
Ilẹ̀ ó ṣojú ẹ o.
Ilẹ̀ ó ṣojú ẹ o.
Ilẹ̀ a fi ọkọ yẹrí.
A fi ọkọ yẹrí.
Oluwole Ajala.
Oluwole Ajala.
Mo ṣe ìlérí níwájú ilẹ̀ àti Olódùmarè.
Mo ṣe ìlérí níwájú ilẹ̀ àti Olódùmarè.
Pé màmá wá ìlọsíwájú ọmọ Yorùbá.
Màmá wá ìlọsíwájú ọmọ Yorùbá.
Màmá wá ìlọsíwájú ìran Yorùbá.
Màmá wá ìlọsíwájú ìran Yorùbá níbikíbi tán bá wà.
Ṣáájú orúkọ mi.
Ṣáájú orúkọ tèmi.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá, ẹ bá wa mú mi ẹ yọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kúrò nínú kẹ́ Musa. Bàbá o, Olúwa dá bàbá sí fún wa. Bàbá, I just love you. Àwọn tí ó fẹ́ ìlọsíwájú ọmọ Yorùbá lótìtọ́ àti lódodo, bàbá Adéníran ni they will do anything possible to make sure Yoruba race come. But some people think it's a joke. What you did, sir, tonight, is it a joke? Is it necessary? Is it bad? Is it not okay?
This is not a joke, and this is what I believe. Tí bá sọ fún pé mi tẹ̀ ti búra ti pẹ́ ní 1990s pé kò sí nǹkan tó máa yí mi padà pé mo ń fẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Nígbà tí mo gbaṣẹ́ ní kìí British Telecom tí mo ti kọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ní railway, nígbà tí wọ́n ní kí n kọ ibi tí mo ti wá síbẹ̀ mo ní Yorùbá man from Nigeria. Nǹkan tí mo kọ sí employment paper mi nìyẹn. Because wá tí mo tẹ̀ débi iṣẹ́ ọmọ Ìgbò kan wà ń bẹ̀. So àwọn tá ìjọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ní mo gbọ́dọ̀ gbéde ẹ̀, mo ní báwo mo ṣe máa gbéde ẹ̀, mo ní Ìgbò ní Yorùbá lè mi, mo ní so you are different people, mo ní then why are you in the same country then? The white man asking me that question. Only we don't understand each other except I speak English language. So it means you cannot go to their original homeland and be safe, and they cannot come to my own homeland and be safe. I said, yes. In my last speech, I talked about, I didn't complete the story of Dr. Akindele. He worked so hard in Eastern region. And when suddenly they had one of their sons who became a medical a graduate and was setting up, there was so much pain for Akindele. They started speaking their language to their people. Akindele, Batini, is using juju to bring you all to his clinic. That was how he lost his clinic practice and came back to Lagos with a briefcase. Those of you Lagosians who know it. And then Curtis Jones' story is also there, where the Igbos almost killed him on his property. Oromare Aradugo, that storm. Ewa weje ni Lafiaji. Ni ile enwa. Are we the same people? Why are we lying to ourselves? To the party Bedebu, Tamo to Meton. We are one. We are one, Babu. But the Fulanis are steadily eating back into our back streets, into our forests, with the ancient messages from their forefathers and through Smadafodyo. It's not Smadafodyo who started it. That's one thing you should remember. It is something that has been on in the ancient times, over 500 to 600 years ago, when they were coming through Djibouti. And the first mosques where they prayed is still there up to today. And they started going through North Africa and then round and round. At its time, if you know the history of the Sahelian area of West Africa, you know there was a Songhai Empire.
Yes.
The Moroccans came and destroyed it because they felt they were evil people. That's the Fulani Empire was destroyed by the Moroccans. We should thank them for it. But they grew up again. And in 1918, they started the message again. This man Bello told Clapperton. And for your information, Clapperton, when he came to West Africa, he came under a pseudonym. He was called Rais Abdullah. Why? So that he doesn't get killed on the way. Is that the people who have signed patch with Fulanis? And he, in fact, at the end of the day, was killed during his second journey when he passed through the amiable and friendly Yoruba country back to that land because he was investigating how do these people live. He wanted to put a record down. Are these people worth doing business with? That was their aim. They did not come to plunder, just like some of my colleagues on the net. The lady talking about African history on this thing, who said Mango Park and the rest were plunderers. Can a single person plunder a town? You plunder when you have an army to conquer a people. You see, that's why it was okay. It irritates me. And I see that even the white men, when they listen to some of her, they just, where is this one coming from? Even Amy got Mojedudu. Ṣé mo lè dá dìde kí n sọ pé mo fẹ́ lọ conquer kíní Ìkàrẹ́ tàbí Ọ̀wọ̀ if I don't have an army? Mungo Park and Lada, he called them plunderers of Africa. Or she called them plunderers of Africa. Usage of words. They came to explore, to find out a part of trade. I don't understand why we brilliant young men and women that old and retired, some of us, don't sit back to think before we talk. It's sad. And that's why we are making the mistake of rejecting our own self. Come on, Yoruba sọ pé òun ò fẹ́ Yoruba nation. It's like you are rejecting yourself, that you don't exist. How can you do that? I beg you all, in the name of Allah, that for you to sit back and change. It's not all about money. I know some of my very close people in Nigeria who have been offered 30 million naira to sell their soul in the name of an election. One vote for 30 million naira? So where that money is coming from is so large. No wonder our hospitals don't have medicine. The poor pregnant woman who doesn't have money to go to the hospital dies, or end up in a church where they start praying. Oh, this is sad. Our Lord had given a foundation for us, which we should have continued in our own nation in 1957. But unfortunately, we so much loved the other people who were put together with us that we rejected that offer. And that's why we are campaigning now. Kọ́lọ́run Olódùmarè kó dáríjì wá pé àjẹ́ kí ìlànà tí Yorùbá dúró fún kó tàn sáyé nígbà tó yẹ kó tàn sáyé. Kò ì pẹ́ jù, ó máa tàn ni. Gbogbo àwọn tán láwọn ò fẹ́, wọ́n á rí pé ibi tọ́nà wà nìyẹn. Ṣé tọrọ kọ́bọ̀ àbí àpò gàrí tán fẹ́ pín, tàbí 30 million tán fẹ́ pín ni ó máa gbà wọ́n lẹ̀? Schools ló ti close down yẹn. I'm seeing a report that it's best for the University Academic Union to better close down the whole schools completely and let everybody go home and go to farm for temporarily. I support that because the government is not responsive to the pains of the people. We are not contributing to science and technology worldwide. Only a few of our young men and women are struggling under difficult investment, under paid generators. We cannot even run an assembly system that will not break down because of electricity. Some operations cannot be completed because of electricity will go down. What about the villages? They cannot go to farms because the conquerors, which we are always called bandits, they are not bandits. The aim of these people is to conquer our land and turn our land into a province of their own land. And they are, if some of you are aware, if you look well into the internet, they are already planning a new Islamic nation in 2026. And as we speak, Nigeria has been dissolved, but we refuse to see it. Why would our Attorney General be addressing a world press conference in his own language? Can we, any one of us who are intelligentials on site, who have worked in every level of intelligence capacity, answer why? And even the president addressing and congratulating his people, Nigeria, in his own language. Is it not supposed to be for all of us? What it means is that they are testing the ground. They are testing the ground to see if we are going to respond to this. Yet we keep quiet like slaves and then praise Nigeria. And each time some of us write articles, I will say, God bless Nigeria. God will not bless Nigeria. God will bless a people who know who they are. Because Nigeria is a Babel. How will God bless a Babel? It's impossible. We are not telling the truth to ourselves. That's it. It's in the Bible. Ọlọ́run dá orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀, but Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè. Well, fortunately, àwọn ọmọ wa tán gbọ́ Yorùbá tó mọ̀ túmọ̀ ẹ̀ tán wà lórí rédíò. Nígbà tán bá ń sọ ìròyìn wá ní ìròyìn láti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, and then wọ́n rò bá àwọn ọgbọ́n tán bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ state wá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ní Nàìjíríà. Mo máa ń rẹ́rìn pé torí Ọlọ́run, may God forgive us for we know not what we do. This country is a Babel, and most of the countries in Africa are Babels. And that is why the continuous fighting and killing. And then we are using guns from the people we say we hate to kill ourselves. Do we manufacture the guns? Look at Ethiopia. If we are wise Africans as we claim that Africans are wise, we are not. If we are wise, the Tigray people have requested that they want to be on their own. Then let's come on the table. Why do you want to be on your own? How do you want to manage? Okay, you are dissatisfied. Is there anything we can do further to elevate your suffering? And if not, okay, you want to go. Let us agree on the terms of disengagement. That's the proper African. But the African that is diluted with the foreign language we are speaking, like I'm speaking now, do not understand this principle. And that's why the mess in the Congo, and that's why the mess in Nigeria, and that's why the mess in every other country. And that's why elections or democracy does not exist in Africa. Going to vote is not democracy. Voting enables democracy to work. That is, you are selecting, you are choosing people to represent your sovereignty. You are not leaving your sovereignty in the hands of people who are going to trample on top of it. And if they are representing you and you feel they do not represent you, you have the right to recall them. But are we doing that in Africa? No. That's why I said we don't have democracy in Africa. That is based on the Western principles of election. They have their own way. They respect democracy. And election is not trampled with. Even though occasionally there is this thing, they always have a way to resolve any misappropriation of elections and votings. But do we have one? We just carry the vote of somebody and give it to the other one. You are the winner. Look at the 1919 election. After it was won, allegedly by Buhari, and he was being sworn in, most of us have forgotten. None of the international diplomats attended the swearing in because they believed that what I would call the travails of justice had been done. But we think, can we think? A lot of things have happened that we should piece together to tell our people, the great Yoruba nation, to say we can no longer be part of this mess, yet we are crawling into it. It's like, there's a big pit in our front. We want to dip ourselves into it. And some of us have the imagery that we are going to control the next election. It's the worst thought that I expect any thinking Yoruba person to have. Omowani. Yes, Omowani. If you look at the geography of distribution of the people in the north are very cunning and wise politically. We have the most stupid politicians in Nigeria, the Yorubas. You think we know? We don't.
Very true.
In the north, they have a way of twisting things. At some point, look at the Sultan of Sokoto at one point said, Any attack on Boko Haram is an attack on Islam and the rest of the North. Yet you keep quiet. And then our boys in the army are sent there to be killed. And when they are going to do their job, they be betrayed by their own colleagues who are nothing else. And yet when this so-called Boko Haram people come out, they now admit them back into the army. What does that? So it takes only 1 month for them to become repentant. People, some of us are psychologists who know. Even now, bàbá wa gan tán gbọ́n jù wá lọ tán fèdè èbó kàwé, wọ́n gbọ́n jù wá lọ, wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tí à ń ṣe Nàìjíríà ń ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ ká máa ṣe. We don't listen. Like I said, I will repeat. A gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di bàbá Akíntóyè. Tá bá fẹ́ tètè gba ilẹ̀ wa padà, a gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di wọ́n, or else we are going to stay longer. And if the longer we are staying, we will become a province of the Arewa Islamic Republic by 2026. Already we are a vassal of the federal government since 1962. You think we are free? No. Look at the way they subtly made sure that even the Egbin power station, they don't supply enough power to power Lagos. Lagos that should have been a center of industrial and commercial and tourist center worldwide, a large black city. It's in darkness always, and we keep quiet. Nigeria, and I see some of our people when they were doing this thing, they would dance with all their vigor and gusto, forgetting who they are, all because they be given a few thousands of naira. Oh God. It saddens me, but I will not cry. I will pray for the souls and the minds of our people to wake up to that reality. I will not cry, but I will pray that you wake up to the reality that we are not Nigerians. We are just part of Nigeria, not by choice, but we are almost making it as if we chose to be Nigerians. We didn't choose to be Nigerians. No. We were just caught into a territory called Nigeria. Our forefathers don't know about it. I will keep on repeating this. And that's why my grandfather told me when I was young in primary school that ìlú tó ń pè Nàìjíríà kò ní rọgbọ lọ́jọ́ iwájú. Bí bá la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe ìlú tí ó pé àgbédè ara wa. Pé wọ́n á sọ pé ṣé èdè ìbò la máa ṣèlú ni? Ṣé gbogbo wa la gbé ìbò? Ṣé ọmọ Hausa gbọ́ tàbí ọmọ Ìgbò tó wà nínú oko? He told me all those little truths, and it has stuck in my brain since then. And I developed more on that, and that's why I started investigating. My first investigation was in 1964 when I was trying to compare the situation in the Congo and here in Nigeria, where Mobutu was the richest and was as rich as his country was poor. The country was owing $5.2 billion, and the account of Mobutu had $5.4 billion. 1974. I will keep on repeating. Western region was lucky to have had education. That was why it was difficult to quickly subsume us into the level of poverty in which we are now. The plan by the action group, by the SNC and NPC, Northern People's Congress, they were never Nigerian People's Congress, ruling Nigeria, was to destroy Oluwole and Western region, and they succeeded through our own people. There's an article in 1964. I don't know if you still have it. One of these days, stream that article where they said we could go after they complete the railway between Maiduguri and Khartoum in Sudan. so that they will be carrying their goods through that side. That was under Balewa. And Balewa was supposed to have started the same railway type from Ibadan to Benin to Onitsha to Mafen, the boundaries of Cameroon. It's in the National Development Plan in the 50s. Did he do it? No. He did a wretched road completed in 1964, which was launched just before the Commonwealth Conference that was held in Nigeria in the early 1966, I think, yeah. And that road was very bad. I went on it as a young man, and I saw that that road was so sink because there was no banking on the cut embankments from the hillsides. So there will be a soil erosion. I'll use the same simple term, not the technical term, that will sweep away the road. Some of us who know, we say that most of the roads that or a Benin road is always soft at the top of the hill. There's a solution to it, which was not applied, the technical solution. There's so much I can say. Is it roads or railway or rivers or boats or electricity? I have done some of those programs before. Ekpebotia was abandoned. Gradually, a lot of things. Sapele plywood was abandoned, the second largest in the whole world. How many do we mention? And currently, the national grid is not working. The country has a capacity of even transmitting 13,000 megawatts of electricity. But it's only able to transmit as it is today 2,600 and something megawatts because the national grid is not working. It's deliberate because if it is working, the factories in Lagos will not have disappeared to countries such as Ghana. I have an article on that recently. They will not have disappeared. And if we have electricity in abundance, you see, a country will grow. Critical infrastructure is supposed to precede growth. It has to be there. So growth will meet it up. And when it is being overloaded, you now create more and more so that the critical infrastructure will be a step ahead of your growth. That's how nations grow. And that's why places like America, Britain, and others don't have power outage because they are planning ahead, years ahead. And that's why the roads, the railways are being improved and expanded. There's going to be another crossrail too, from the southeast to the north. They're already planning it. Are we doing anything in Nigeria? Wretchedly, we refurbished the old 1914 railway.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Lord, my joy. My people hear me. Ẹ tẹ̀lé mi ká lọ síwájú. Ká gbàgbé Nàìjíríà. It's an amalgam. Àgbẹ̀ ìbò, àmọ́ ìtumọ̀ amalgam. Àbí? Àmọ́ ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀.
In a nutshell, what advice will you give to those people criticizing the Bora process?
Well, I tell them if they are not happy with it, they should not criticize it. And if they are trying to criticize it, they are criticizing themselves because they are not true to themselves. Because they believe they pay and only die Yoruba. So that when they bow salo. I told one of my friends sometimes in 1990s when we published our book, The Case for Autonomy. That's the title of the book. He said to me, Yomi, but that's what he called me. We believe in Nigeria. Because Baba Oluwole tí mo mọ̀ ó ṣiṣẹ́ fún Nàìjíríà ni. Yes, he did. but at the last date, he realized that he made a mistake. You know, I believe I'm a patriotic Nigerian. Mo ní okay o, tó bá jẹ́ patriotic Nigerian. Lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè ó máa ṣojú wa. Tá bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá, will come to your town and carry your load and take it to Sokoto and you live amongst them and see what happens to you. Kò sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di ọmọ Hausa. Because we should not forget who we are. We are a very powerful race, but we are missing the road by claiming that we are Nigerians. We are not. We are just part of Nigeria. We are just part, I keep on repeating. We are just part of Nigeria. The white man who created us knows that we are incompatible. There's one man in if you can, go to the archives and check for this article on July 15, 1998. Just a week after Ajala died. He said it is a summary of what he said was that it's only the fully blind that we expect anything to come out of Nigeria. That there will be continuous killing and bloodshedding. Only the willfully blind. Is it not still continuing? This, he said it in 1998 before he died. He was a colonial officer in Nigeria then. He said if they knew, they would have made sure that Nigeria went into, partially in the first place, a confederation where everybody rules his own self separately and maybe have some common services at the center, which is not going to be imparting on the development in the different regions, whatever they become. I will go back and bring all these things up. And as at that time too, in 1953, Balewa said they don't want Nigeria. It's in the archives, it's in the reports, that as far as they are concerned, they want to go their way. We should not have a central government. Every region should rule itself. Only we could have common understanding of joining our roads and railway and waterways together for purpose of trade. That was because he had requested the British administrators in the north to talk to the Dahomian French administrators to allow them to use a river just west of the boundary of Nigeria in Dahomey to transport their goods. And when that river was surveyed, they found that it was not going to be very profitable to use that. The North had been planning for their own survival, but we are not. And that's, again, when the opportunity came that they constructed the railway from just through Bauchi, the home of Balewa, to Maiduguri, the next objective before the coup came in 1966 was to extend this railway in terms of where we are talking of international expansion and connectivity. That's what they are going to predicate that construction on. Meanwhile, leaving the south and construct it to Khartoum and then link to the railway to Cairo. So they'll be carrying their goods through Bauchi to Maiduguri, to Khartoum, to Cairo. That was published in the West African Pilot of December 30, 1964 by one Malam Baba Gaba. I think I sent it to in your Ade Thomas. If you like, you can open it up and put it on the site for people to read. And they concluded that after they complete that trail, if anybody wants to go to his own separate nation, can go. They have always openly said that we should split. But it's also the North that have been holding on to Nigeria. My great father, Adebanjo, Kini Baba Oluwole, Maso, Kini Ìjẹ́pẹ̀ tó máa jẹ́ fún Baba Oluwole pé Nigeria dàrú lójú òun. Nigeria ti dàrú láti 1964. Awala can admit it. I'll be 1962, I mean. When your own leader could be thrown into jail for spurious accusations. I used to ask myself when I was young then, where did they bury these cutlasses that they want to use in fighting the Nigerian army? Because that was one of the cases brought against them. And because they went together and so what to Ghana, and so what, they went. Generally, one thing most Africans don't understand is that the African is basically capitalistic. We can never be communist. There's no way communism can survive in Africa. After all, Ejisa Maria tried it in this thing. It didn't last more than 1 year and some months. The African can never, ever accept communism. Even though we keep on lying to ourselves that we are comrade this, comrade that. Do you understand the import of a comrade? Even those who call themselves comrade, who are supposed to be comrades, don't address themselves as comrade in Russia. It's only when they are having a meeting that they say comrade Petrovat said this and this, but when they go out, they don't address themselves as comrade that. No. Have you seen any person either from Poland or any part of that area who addresses themselves as comrade? Even some of my teachers from Russia in those days did not call themselves comrade. Àmọ́ ìtumọ̀ èdè à ń fi èdè lédè búra wa àròbá à ń ṣe àgbéra alárugẹ ni. It's not good. I'm just me, Oluwole Alex Ajala. Why will I call myself a comrade? No. I will say, tí máa fẹ́ àdírẹ́sì tó bá wà lágbo, ó lè sọ pé ọ̀rẹ́ mi lágbájá ó sọ báyìí báyìí. Ó ní máa sọ pé comrade kíní kan sọ kíní. What kind of pride? We don't know the meaning of these words, the deep meaning. Àmọ́ pa fi ń ṣe ra léṣe ni. There's much to say. I think we will do this another time, because I want to talk about, I will talk about the desecration of Yorubas. Let me say, I'm writing a paper on this, which I will complete by tomorrow evening. The final desecration of Yoruba sovereign land, the Owo debacle. Most people don't understand what happened in Owo, and I'm going to explain it tomorrow. That's why I was very sad that the way the June 12th rally was conducted. I was around there, but I was so ashamed that my people don't understand the magnanimity of the desecration of Owo. Within a week, we are dancing. We should be crying to the world that our country, Yoruba land, we will start to claim our country, our Yoruba country, our sovereign country is being destroyed, all in the name of a Nigeria we didn't have a hand in creating. That should have been our statement, to tell the world press. I will stop so far.
Ọlọ́run àgbà fún wa ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ní ilé àti lóko àti ní gbogbo bí ẹ ti ń bọ̀ wá ọba Oluwole Ajala wọn ló ti ń bá ọdún mi tán láti bí wákàtí méjì nípa ibi tí adé náà ń lọ ó dẹ̀ dá mi lójú pé gbogbo wa gbádùn ètò náà nítorí pé ẹ̀kọ́ púpọ̀ ní mi kíní kékeré yìí rí kọ́ nínú ẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo dẹ̀ kọ́ mi ò ní dànù ẹ̀la pé ó máa wúlò fún mi ní ọ̀la ní agbára Ọlọ́run ní aago 10 alẹ́ bàbá Àjàlá a tún padà wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ pàápàá jùlọ lórí the real event of Owo. What is the sign? What does it mean? What does that happen in Owo a few months ago? What does it really mean? The Yoruba is. Títí di ọ̀la bí ẹ ó tún pàdé èmi àti bàbá mi pa Alex Ajala lórí ètò ìgbìmọ̀ tí ní tòótọ́ bàbá ó dàárọ̀ sà.
ẹ dúró ná mo tún fẹ́ kí bàbá mi Professor Banji Akitoye tó bá gbọ́ mi sìn wọ́n á gbọ́ mi kó má bínú sí mi pé I have not been feeling well. It is just 2 days ago that I have been feeling very well. That's why I'm able to come on this program now. And again, pé phone mi ò dáa méjèèjì they are not. Tí bá ti pè yẹn ó kàn máa fade lọ. I don't know. I have to buy another one. And I would again say ká má fojú di ọ̀nà tí àwọn bàbá ti là fún wa. A gbọ́dọ̀ fojú di wọ́n torí àwọn ni Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ti fún ní fìtílà àti fún wa ní ìlànà débi tá à ń lọ. Ẹ ṣé.
ẹ ṣé bàbá ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi títí di ọ̀la ìyá ọ̀sán pàdé orí bákan náà ìgbìmọ̀ pé tó kọ́ ojú àti ọ̀rá rèé ó dàbọ̀ ìmọ̀.
ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jùmọ̀ kọ orin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwa ni ògo adúláwọ̀.
Heritage TV for your next event. Rental services. We are the best at what we do.
Heritage Events. For your next event, what are your requests? Let's enhance you with various modern facilities that will make your event very successful. With Heritage Events, giving your event that special effect. We engage in rental service. We provide you with 160 light emitting diode, LED screen, 360 photo booth also available, film projector, code fireworks machine, and low fog machine, digital photography, also digital and special effect creation. We also give live streaming services. We can also manage and plan your event for you, such as wedding ceremony, housewarming, child dedication, burial ceremony, clubs and churches anniversary. So what are you waiting for? Contact us now on 0333 0116 367 or 07367 367 555. Email admin@eventspecialeffect.co.uk. Website www.eventspecialeffect.co.uk. Heritage Events, giving your event that special effect.
We are the best at what we do. Heritage, oh. Heritage. ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bá wa dòwò pọ̀ ẹ ṣe àdúpẹ́. Heritage Event tuntun ti dé. 360 photo booth 160 LED play projector ohun èlò ìgbàlódé lóríṣiríṣi. Heritage ní ilẹ̀ gbàgbẹ́ Heritage níjàre.
Ní Heritage Event àti gẹ̀rẹ́gẹ̀jigẹ̀ àti tẹ̀síwájú iléeṣẹ́ wa ti kúrò bá ti lérò. àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn ìgbàlódé tó ń fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ níbi ayẹyẹ wà nílẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. rental service lọ́lọ́kọ̀ òjọ̀kan ìyàwòrán kótópó olóbìrípo 360 photo booths jíjí àràmàǹdà tìgbàlódé light emitting diode 160 LED screen tó ń tanná tàmálẹ̀ gàràgà. a ní flame projector ẹ̀rọ code fireworks machine wà tó ń ṣáná wọlé ẹ̀rọ low fog machine ò gbẹ́yìn digital photography pẹ̀lú digital and special effect creations. à ń ṣe live streaming service tó máa ń ṣàfihàn ayẹyẹ yín bó ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní gbogbo àgbáyé ó máa wò. àtúnlẹ̀ bá yín gbèrò tàbí mójútó àwọn ayẹyẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe bí ìgbéyàwó ìṣílé ìkómọjáde ìsìnkú àgbà àjọ̀dún ẹgbẹ́ tàbí tìjọ kílẹ̀ ń dúró dè ẹ kàn sí wa ní heritage event lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 0333-0116-367 àti 07-367-367-555 email admin@eventspecialeffect.co.uk lórí ẹ̀rọ alátagbà www.eventspecialeffect.co.uk heritage event giving your event that special effect.
sílẹ̀ gbàbẹ́ heritage níjàre. heritage ti dé. aba remedy ló sọ pé àìsàn ní ṣe wá. ṣọ́múròrò àwọn ká pẹ̀lú ẹ̀dá o.
orí fífọ́ ò dáa.
máa ń pa wá ó ṣe kókó fámọ́ ọkùnrin.
diabetes ò dáa.
rúmọ́lẹ́gùn ò dára káyé má bá wọn jà o.
àbí o kàlàfíà wọn máa ti fíafíà o nílé iṣẹ́ aba remedy ṣe ń fọnrẹ́ rí ẹ pé ká tọ́jú ara wa pẹ̀lú àwọn oògùn ìbílẹ̀ tiwantiwa egbògi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pọ́nbélé tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fáwọn onírúurú àìsàn bíi ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru high blood pressure ìtọ̀ ṣúgà diabetes ẹ̀fọ́rí túlù migraine àwọ̀ká arthritis nárùn body inching ṣàmúlòrò àtẹ̀dá tó dààmú àwọn obìnrin Yorùbá natural herbal remedy ló lè yanjú ẹ̀. manpower ọkùnrin làdá tó ń fáwọn ọkùnrin lágbára láti ṣojú ṣe wọn lọ́dọ̀ àwọn aya wọn. ọ̀sẹ̀ àánú náà wà mercy soap fún gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ ra àánú gbà herbal remedy láti lè ṣe heritage tv London. ẹ lè rí àláwọ̀ àdírẹ́sì tó ń kọjá lójú wòran yín yìí tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè nọ́mbà yìí +44-777-8957-893 lè ṣe heritage tv London ló ń pariwo wípé àìsàn àtàrùn onífàgbọ́ ara wa ṣe bùgbé o.
rúmọ́lẹ́gùn ò dára káyé má bá wọn jà o.